Welcome back to the Dennis Herrera show. It's crazy late night here, Friday night. Welcome back, Robert. About time, it says. Yes, we are back. I was considering getting back. I was not gonna get back tonight, but I think I did say that I was going to. So here we are. And we're just going to be watching a little bit of the NASA landing here while we
The
get
WB.
ready. I don't know if you guys already watched the capsule landing today, but that's what you're looking at right now. There you go. Just to make it a little bit bigger for you guys there. Cray already knows the routine. Absolutely, absolutely. Most likely, I am casual in the second half of my show. That's just how I keep it fresh. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Welcome back, Ray. How was you guys' day today? I think we had a really good live this earlier.
And Houston, we're visual 2 drogues out the window.
There you go. Beautiful landing.
2 good drogue shoots.
They're fresh. You know what I'm saying?
Next up,
You know?
We copy, we see them.
next up, the deployment of pilot parachutes that will pull the main chutes out. Time to splash
I was
down
watching
3 minutes
this
and 10 seconds.
earlier, and I thought, this part of the shoot looks fake, but obviously it's not. I'm not saying it's fake. It just looked fake, like I was watching some sort of animation.
On 2 drogues.
That's what I thought.
We keep the same on board.
Guys, don't forget to hit that like button as you're coming in here. Want to make sure that all my
Passing
stuff
through
is put on
10,000
here.
feet.
Plus,
Still on
I
drogues.
want to be able to share this on my Facebook. Just to see what happens here
Main
on
chute
my
deployed.
Facebook. I got like 4 people signed up for my Facebook, so
We're at 5,000 feet. Search and recovery beacon has been activated on integrity. And
beautiful.
we have 3 good main chutes. Good 3 main chutes.
You know,
Good
I wonder
reefing,
why we
good
didn't
descent
just
rate.
land on the moon
Three
and
good
then
looking parachutes.
take off and come back. I'm not sure why they decided to go this route.
Integrity. Cabin pressure indicates no need for hydrazine checks.
Integrity copies. This is a perfect descent for integrity. Its crew sounding hale and hearty on board.
Beautiful.
Time to splash down 1 minute 15 seconds.
Hi, Tanya. Good evening. Brian, what's up? Welcome
Integrity
back.
about
Welcome
to
back,
complete a
family.
journey
Welcome back.
Spanning 694,481 miles from its launch from the Kennedy Space Center back on April 1st, and a trip around the moon.
I got Robert. Who else we got here? I think Robert, Cray, and Samuel and Güero are looking at the white at the landscape one. I am more on the vertical one, guys.
Passing through
The
1,000
one that
feet.
goes this way. I can't chat on both. I mean, I can, but it's too much of a pain in the ass. So if you want to switch to the vertical, it'll say portrait. It'll say portrait on it. Portrait. Yeah, and then whoever wants to be on the white on the landscape one, it's okay. But just letting you know that we are most of us are on the portrait mode. Again, just letting you know. You can watch whichever one you want.
Splashdown confirmed.
Copy splashdown. Waiting on VLDR.
Splashdown confirmed at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time. From the pages of Jules Verne to a modern-day mission to the moon, a new chapter of the exploration of our celestial neighbor is complete. Integrity's
Touchdown,
astronauts
baby.
back on Earth. P.M. Pacific Time. And the landing and support officer reports the vehicle is stable 1. We still will be deploying the crew module uprighting system to maintain that orientation. A perfect bullseye splashdown for Integrity and its 4 astronauts.
Beautiful sight. All right, let's see. Interesting. So the chat that I have
The
on
unofficial
the software
splashdown time,
is the chat from
7:07
the
and 47 seconds
from
p.m.
the
Central
landscape
Time. We'll get
mode.
that refined for you. That would put
He
the end
literally
of the
moved.
mission
Yeah,
at
I
a
don't
takeoff
understand
time
why
of
they
9
didn't land
days,
in the
1
moon.
hour,
I
31
really don't
minutes,
know.
35 seconds.
I mean, that's what I want to see. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when I'm gonna get like really excited when I see an actual rocket
And we're configuring for
still
very low
land
data
as
rate.
a rocket and then take off as a rocket. I mean, I know that taking off from the moon
Once
is
again,
not that
splashdown
hard
occurring
because of the
in the
gravity
Pacific,
is
south
very light, right?
southwest
That's
of
what
San Diego
the obvious
at
reason would be.
7:07 and 47
But
seconds
I
p.m.
still would think that
Integrity Houston. Com check on
as big as
VLDR.
the rockets are made and as successful as it is on the burnout, there's always extra burnout that they have, when they separate. And I think that they
We have you
can
descend.
they
We'll
can
meet you
actually
over in
make
Costa.
another rocket on the rocket so that they can have that
Perfect
second
communications
extra
established.
takeoff boost and
We are
whatnot.
stable 1.
But to each
Green
his own.
crew members.
Houston copies all.
Reed Wiseman
Houston
reporting 4
copies
green
all.
crew members. That is not their complexion. That is the fact that they're in great condition. That's what that means. So stable 1, upright. The crew module uprighting system is being
Just had
deployed.
to
The 5
run my
airbags being inflated through helium
run my chat
to
across the
maintain
second
the upright
monitor.
configuration for the vehicle.
This way I can chat with
This was
everybody
a
else.
textbook entry and a textbook touchdown for Integrity.
All right, so Robert
Reed
went
Wiseman, Victor
to the
Glover,
vertical
Christina
one.
Cook,
Okay,
and Jeremy
perfect.
Hansen back on Earth
Samuel, if you
after
want
a
to stay
journey
there, that's
around the moon.
fine. I just won't be able to chat with you. $4 billion to take a picture. Can you imagine? And I have problems with people trying to pay me $1,200 for a day of waiting shots. It's crazy. It's crazy. But that's how the world is. That's how the world goes. There's so many things that the military uses that are flying around, and the first thing that people say, is well, UFOs. When you hear UFO, I am sure that the first thing that comes to your mind is aliens, extraterrestrial aliens,
We continue,
and that's not
to
accurate.
monitor the
That's
functioning
not how
of the
that works.
CMOOS system. The airbags are being inflated to maintain a stable 1 or upright
Remember,
configuration.
UFO means unidentified
There's a good view
flying
from
object.
one of the naval
Okay,
helicopters hovering overhead.
so when we're saying alien, it just means
Reed Wiseman
foreign.
reporting
If we
4
say
green crew
ET,
members, meaning they're all in
UFO,
excellent shape.
extraterrestrial, then you can say something. But just saying, "Whoa, there's a UFO," yeah, everybody sees UFOs, but it's not ET UFOs. I know, I get to be so literal with things,
Integrity
but
Houston 4,
but you
Star
got
Beacon
you
and
got
radio.
to you got to know.
Star Beacon is in 406, and we're powering the radio now. Go ahead.
We see the beacon on. However, the recovery team is
God bless you,
not
Rad. Thank you.
seeing the signal.
I see you.
Your SAW radio uses the same antenna,
Bradley says
so
you're a
you may run into
fraud.
trouble with the radio.
I'm not even talking about anything. We're watching the NASA video.
Yeah, we're
That
also powering up the
oh
radio.
man, these guys,
Go
they
now.
just never give it a rest. Trolls will be trolls, I guess. At least wait until we get into it. Rad says the Artemis 2 was designed as
So
a
integrity is,
crew
in
test
great
flight to
shape.
validate the
And
Orion
as
capsule's
the crew
life
continues
support
its
systems and ensure
post-splashdown
safety in deep space
timeline
before attempting a
activities on
lunar
board,
landing.
Reed Wiseman
Gotcha.
once again
Okay, so there's
reporting
like
that
a
all four crew members
pre-flight
are in excellent shape.
sort of thing.
And
Copy
we
that.
have 5 inflated
Yeah, it's very
airbags
late.
to maintain
It
an
is Friday
upright
night. I know
configuration
for some of you guys it's already
so that, the
12:30.
reaction,
You know,
the re-
East
the
Coast,
recovery
etc.
team,
I know Robert
can
doesn't get
now,
to sleep,
begin
so he'll
a
probably
slow
just pass
approach
out
to the
here
vehicle.
listening to my
Meanwhile, here in the
voice.
flight control room, and Flight Director Rick Henfling
Hey,
is
Jose
deploying
Perez,
his team of
welcome.
flight controllers for the
Welcome.
start
Saying, did we win? I think that,
powering
I
down the
guess
vehicle.
that's a win.
After
Successful
thorough
landing.
Systems check. We have no toxic gases to be concerned
Four
about.
astronauts made it
So the
home
recovery,
safely. Thank
personnel
you,
can approach
NASA.
the vehicle,
Thank you, Trump, for bringing
but not until
NASA
we have
back.
powered
Absolutely.
down, the spacecraft.
Absolutely.
That's expected to take a few more minutes.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and make myself a light cup of coffee. I hope I can make a light cup of coffee. I'll let you guys watch this. There you go.
Integrity back on Earth, following its historic flyby of the moon. It was, for all intents and purposes, a textbook mission.
On 2828, but I'll remain on this frequency.
We copy.
Reed Wiseman indicating some trouble with the SARSAT phone on board, but that's not an issue. What is more important is that the vehicle is solid. No issues as we begin the power down of the vehicle to begin the recovery process.
There you go, Samuel. That's the ticket.
The propulsion officer here in Mission Control reports that we have safed the prop system on integrity.
Can you say again that was very weak and broken?
Integrity, Houston did not call.
Copy that, Houston. It might have been on the SAR radio. Stand by.
All of the milestones were executed in perfect fashion. Integrity entering the Earth's atmosphere right on time, reaching its peak speed shortly after a blackout period began. We emerged from the blackout period, but the recovery imagery airborne assets were able to pick up Integrity's descent almost immediately through entry interface, tracking the vehicle all the way down. And finally, you saw the sequence of chute deployments. First, the forward bay cover being pulled off the top of the vehicle by a series of 3 parachutes. Then the drogue chutes were deployed, followed by the 3 main chutes that slowed the splashdown velocity of Integrity to just 19 miles an hour.
Integrity, Houston, with No Joy on SAR and SAT phone, we'd like you to command an additional 15 minutes for a total of 30-minute power down delay.
All right, Jackie, we have selected T/D+30. No Joy on SAR radio or sat phone. And stand by, we have the master diver on SAR radio. Please hold comms.
Hey, Lily. Excuse me. Hey, Jackie, we just got the master diver.
You won't believe what happened to me, but I'll explain here in a little bit.
Good view of one of the fast boats.
Integrity, Houston, if you are happy with your comm with Master Diver, you can go back to the 15-minute power down.
Okay, stand by. Yeah, we'll confirm here in a second.
The crew on board Integrity coordinating with the flight control team in Houston here in Mission Control on the timing of the power down of the vehicle, which will be the precursor to the recovery teams approaching the spacecraft. There are no issues with Integrity. We've had a bit of broken capability in
All right, so
establishing a
when I was
satellite
making my
phone
coffee, I
communications
saw
capability
I
between
saw
the
a
crew on
comment
board
from
Integrity
from Samuel,
and, the
and as I
recovery team.
said, that's the ticket,
That will get
Samuel.
sorted out here
I put
shortly.
my coffee in my water
There's plenty of cooling on board Integrity.
instead
So
of
no
on the
rush to
filter,
begin the
so
power
I
down.
had to go and rinse the pot because you just can't. That's not how you make the coffee. Oh man, that would have
We
been
haven't had
crazy.
anything come through.
So, anyways, that's what happened to me. I apologize. I'm not over here saying anything. Uh, I'll blame Samuel on the landscape mode for distracting me too much. Oh man, bro. Plus, man, I am tired. I am tired. I was not going to do a live tonight, but it's Friday night. I know some of you guys want to chill and hang out, and we had such a good time. I think I had a good time. I know I got a good time. I hope that we had a good time together earlier.
Pushing the PTT on the radio.
I know there was one guy that made me mad, but you know, guys, when we are seeing injustice, being done by other people, we got to have a little bit of respect. We can't just let people, stay jerks. When somebody is suffering, like the girl that got killed by a Haitian guy with a hammer. I mean, we're humans, right? We got to have some sort of feelings, and sometimes. We need to see those things. We can't just be jerks. And if people don't like us, that's okay. They have a right not to like us, but we have to control what we have in our channel.
For sat phone, we are going to attempt to call you.
Yeah, it was crazy. You can hear the thud right from the hammer hitting her.
Standing by.
It's so sad, bro.
And Jackie, yes, we are.
Tanya, thank you, big sis.
The two buttons on the left side of the radio below.
You guys already know that my wife always sends her love to you guys. She knows who are the people that support me on my channel. So, and her and I are in agreement that we are blessed that you guys are on my channel. I know some of you are members because you like to support other people. When you have the finances to support others, that's fine. By all means, do that. It's a good thing. But I do know that you guys subscribe to, you're members on my channel just because you want to help me out, and I appreciate that.
We are trying a backdoor approach to have Mission Control here call the crew on their satellite phone. This all part of the coordination for the power down of the vehicle. that will initiate the actual recovery operation. The first boats with the Navy divers on board are standing by.
I really like all this stuff. I'll tell you what, while there's still, let me see. Yeah, there's still plenty of time in here. Let me go ahead and mute this real quick. And, well, let's take a look at this right here. Check this out.
But we're going to start with several new developments tonight in these sex assault claims aimed at Congressman and candidate for governor Eric Swalwell.
ABC 7 Eyewitness News political reporter Monica Madden is here with the stunning allegations. Monica?
JR and Dan, Congressman Eric Swalwell has denied the accusations, but that hasn't stopped his gubernatorial opponents and other top Democrats from lining up to call for him to drop out of the race. According to CNN, 4 women have now accused Congressman and gubernatorial candidate Eric Swalwell of inappropriate sexual misconduct, one speaking exclusively to CNN. The San Francisco
Swalwell.
Outlining accusations Friday of inappropriate conduct and the sexual
Karma
assault
is
of
a
one former
bitch, isn't
congressional
it?
staffer. The report alleges that Congressman Eric Swalwell began pursuing her within weeks after she was hired at age 21 to work in the Democrats' district office in Castro Valley in 2019. According to the report, Swalwell messaged her on Snapchat.
Everybody says they love you, babe.
Images of his genitals and seeking nude pictures of her in
She
return.
says, love you back.
The former staffer reportedly said
Brian,
that in 2019 he tried to kiss her
to
in
you
her
and
car
your
when she
and your
drove him
lovely
home
family.
from a donor meeting and asked her to perform a sexual act, which she says she did. The woman also told the paper Swalwell invited her out for drinks, and she became so severely intoxicated that she does not remember the rest of the night. She says she woke up naked in a hotel bed with the congressman. She believes they had sex. The Chronicle also reporting that 5 years later and no longer working for the congressman, the woman says she ran into Swalwell at a charity event.
Just a little bit.
They met for drinks, during which she became so inebriated that she only remembers snippets of the night, including pushing Swalwell away and telling him no, while he allegedly forced himself on her.
Oops.
KGO has not independently verified the allegations made to the Chronicle or CNN. Swalwell has denied any inappropriate behavior, telling reporters on Tuesday,
"Did you ever behave inappropriately with female staffers?"
No, it's false.
Today, the congressman doubled down on his denial, saying in a statement, quote, "These allegations are false and come on the eve of an election against the frontrunner for governor. For 20 years, I have served the public as a prosecutor and a congressman and have always protected women. I will defend myself with the facts and, where necessary, bring legal action. My focus in the coming days is to be with my wife and children and defend our decades of service against these lies." And since this news broke, a senior campaign staffer, Courtney Pugh, confirming to me that she resigned today from his campaign amid these allegations. Los Angeles Congressman Jimmy Gomez was also working on the campaign, and he resigned, calling the accusations ugly and serious. And reaction is also coming from those who supported Swalwell's bid for governor, including U.S. Senator Adam Schiff and the influential California Teachers Association. Both have pulled their endorsements. And as you would expect, many of his gubernatorial challengers are also now calling for Eric Swalwell to drop out of the race for governor. JR, Dan.
Let me tell you, Dookie. Let me tell you why. I think it's fair to say that when every single Democrat back in 2016, when every single Democrat, after only being 12 minutes from the announcement that President Donald J. Trump was confirmed the POTUS, you will agree with me that all Democrats said we're going to impeach him. Impeach. Now, at first, these fake socialist Democrats were saying that we fight for democracy. Democracy is in danger. Trump is a threat to democracy. And I will say this, with Bill Clinton, I made excuses for Clinton. I mean, what's that little BJ? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a little something. Yeah, I get it. the disrespect in the Oval Office. I get it. But I mean, really? I get it. The disrespect for some people. I think Brian will say that was disrespect. And I agree with him. But again, as the president, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. But with that being said, the problem was that when all the Democrats, I'm going to tell you this right now. This is why I say, don't judge President Trump unless you are perfect. And I can guarantee you that you're not perfect, especially me. I am the least perfect, but I can acknowledge that I am not perfect. So when you have people throwing accusations, especially when it damages the marriage, Democrats tried to destroy President Trump. Not just himself, not just personally, but they went after his whole family. So you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to protect him. I'm going to defend him at all costs. It takes real facts and real convictions for me to say, I am not going to defend him anymore. The way that he talks, I voted for him. The way that his history is, I knew his history before I voted for him. The closest thing that they could find to try to burn him was over 10 years old. President Donald Trump has claimed bankruptcy, as many Americans have. It is part of the loophole in the system. Many people have abused that same loophole system, and they have gone out and put themselves in so much debt. They've gone out and they have max credit cards, and when they get a big amount, they go and max these credit cards, and then when all the debt is said and done, they claim bankruptcy. There's always a chance that somebody's going to fail, especially when they're making investments. But I really think it's ridiculous when people think that they are perfect. So just not to make a long story, a long story long, I'm going to make it short. I know everything that President Trump has done in his life prior to me voting for him. And I think that is what is different about what we see today. So all these Democrats have been accusing President Trump, family, Trump, son, Trump, daughter, Trump, grandkids, Trump, everything. Everybody hated them so much. Let me remove this call in. We're not ready for moving. That was just a little test that I had on there. But everybody was so on going off on them. They treated him like a convict. They treated him like this criminal, and till this day, of course, that's stuck. Fear-mongering, it is a tactic that the socialist Democrats use to lie to you, and then they will tell the legacy media story. They will leak stories. They will leak. They will leak information all the time, and that is on purpose. To leak information that way, that is supposed to be top secret, so to speak, I think something is wrong in the system. And those people who have leaked information that was supposed to be top secret, they should be in jail for treason. Why do I say that? Because a lot of things, before they actually get to go do something, a lot of times they're just talking about it, trying to find out what will be the best option. And that's the thing, that people don't think that way. So with that being said, all these Democrats have been going against President Trump, and I'm going to tell you, Shifty Shift, he is dirty, and I hope that he goes to jail. Swalwell slept with the spy. Let's not play stupid. He slept with the spy, and yet somehow, he was still able to stay in office. How? I have no idea. See, he was talking very confident, talking about he was going to sue he was going to sue the DOJ for going after this investigation, and the FBI, I think, is what it was involved. Well, karma's a bitch. And every single one of them, I'll tell you right now, every single one of those corrupted politicians that have gone against President Trump, they're going to pay. Sooner or later, they are going to pay. Is people getting kicked off already? What's going on here? Are people getting kicked off already? No, come on. Well, we haven't even started the conversations yet. We haven't even started conversation. Who's being kicked off? I don't know who's getting kicked off. Oh, man. That's unbelievable. Anyways, you guys are watching the NASA pod landing in the ocean. So anyways, so it just, to me, it's just funny to see Eric Swalwell, which, again, every time I look at him, the first thing that comes to my mind is, how the hell is he still in power? It bugs me. It bugs me that he's not in trouble. It bugs me that he still has a job. It bugs me because every time that I see this No King rally protest, it's China's involved. Communist, Marxist associations, socialist associations. They're involved. They're pitching money. And people go and grab these signs like they're just campaigning for some sort of new president or something, but they don't realize that they're just being used. It's crazy. So, I think Ilhan has been in hot waters for a long time and nothing has happened to her yet. I hope that something happens to her. I really do. And I'm talking about legally, of course. I want to see her ass get deported, but I want her to pay back all that money that she stole. Because you know she stole the money. She's playing dumb. She was told to go after this fraud, and she played it off like there was nothing. Bad work. That's right, baby. Soros and friends, baby. People act like it's some sort of secret that nobody notices. That nobody knows who Soros is. Come on, guys. Come on. Don't play dumb. Don't play dumb. Now, granted, the people that are always trolling on my chat, right? Guys, if they're coming in here, you guys already know the usual suspects. I don't want them to come in here and give a bad experience to everybody else that actually wants to have a conversation, because I will open my line. So why don't we get rid of the usual suspects? Let's get rid of Zuzu, because Zuzu, this guy, it's bad. I don't even know why I let him out of jail. All right, so let's get rid of them. And then what I want you to do is, I want you to do this. I want you to label them, and then I want you to shame them, just like this. Okay? There you go. So let me see if there's anybody else in here that I know for sure. I already know who the trolls are. The ones that I have given a chance to call in. The people that just call in and just say stupid shit on the phone. All right. Team Hype has got 10 minutes. Yeah, we'll give him a chance. We'll see what his next comment is, and we'll go from there. Magic Man, welcome back, my friend. You don't want a convo. I don't know what the hell you mean by that. I don't know what you mean by that. We have Barney here. Barney says, Eric, swallow well. Swallow well. Well, that's horrible. That is there we go. Dookie, thank you for stopping by. Have a good one, buddy. Have a good night, bro. Have a good night. If you guys don't want to hang out, guys, this is just a hangout late Friday night. Just a hangout. So we're going to label you, and then we're going to shame you. There you go. There you go, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. Trump got dog walked by Putin in Alaska. You know what? That's an opinion. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's fine. Yeah, it was such a great insult, wasn't it? It was a great insult, but it didn't make it today. It didn't make it tonight. we'll see. Don't worry, guys. We're about to open up the lines in here. We are still watching the capsule from the Artemis the Second. Artemis the Second. How about this? Let me see. ICE official details arrest on Haitian undocumented migrant. I want to hear this. It's about 4 minutes. Let's hear it.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Kelly Walker. I am the acting field office director for ICE.
It's pretty soft, but that's their volume.
Miami field office. Thanks for being here today.
No, it's my volume.
A tragic moment and an awful time and an awful reason to come together as we talk about a woman who was savagely murdered in our community at the hands of a violent illegal alien. So on April 3rd, the Fort Myers Police Department in Fort Myers, Florida, responded to a horrific crime scene at a gas station where an innocent mother was violently attacked and murdered. Their surveillance footage, which is circulating widely on social media, shows Robert Joaquin, a Haitian illegal alien, brutally striking the victim multiple times in the head with a hammer. This senseless act has shocked our community and underscores the critical importance of immigration enforcement and our role in public safety. Through the coordinated efforts of the Fort Myers Police Department, ERO, HSI, the U.S. Marshals, CBP, Air and Marine Operations, this man was swiftly located and apprehended. The speed and accuracy in which our law enforcement teams were able to track the killer's movements and arrest him is a testament to our robust law enforcement partnerships here in the state of Florida. Currently, Mr. Joaquin is being held at the Lee County Jail on charges of homicide and property damage. ERO has issued an immigration detainer and will ensure that he is never released into the communities or the streets of the United States again. Joaquin, an illegal alien from Haiti, first entered the United States on August 9th, 2022, near Key West, Florida, subsequent to a maritime smuggling operation. He was arrested by the United States Border Patrol. He was turned over to ICE ERO for detention and was later issued a immigration judge's final order of removal on September 9th, 2022. The prior administration allowed him to be released into the United States and subsequently granted him temporary protected status, giving him a legal safeguard to remain in our country. As of yesterday, the Trump administration stripped that safeguard, and his protections are now revoked. On June 27, 2025, the Trump administration announced the termination of temporary protective status for Haiti. It was determined that country conditions have improved to the point where Haitians can be returned safely. TPS, temporary protective status, was never designed to be a permanent stay in the United States, but for decades it's been abused as a de facto amnesty program. As we have ended TPS, the courts have obstructed the administration from restoring integrity to our immigration system. On March 11th, the Trump administration and the Supreme Court asked the Supreme Court to clear the way for it to end TPS for more than 350,000 Haitian immigrants. The case that occurred here in Fort Myers highlights the president's objective to restore law and order to our country and enforce immigration laws enacted by Congress. We here today stand together to reaffirm our commitment alongside our partners with Homeland Security Investigations, Fort Myers Police Department, to keeping our communities safe and secure. Here in the state of Florida, we do that. We do that every day. We do that proudly. We do that with the Florida Sheriff's Association, with all the police chiefs. All the state and local partners work very well together here in the state of Florida, and we continue to reaffirm that daily. We've set a standard for 287G partnerships here. We have 325 agreements with just this fiscal year alone, over 6,000 arrests associated with those 325 agreements, by far the most in the country. We lead the way in enforcement, and we've seen tremendous success because of the cooperation in the state of Florida. As a highlight of that cooperation, I would like to introduce one of our great partners, Fort Myers Police Department Chief Fields.
I'm feeling bien.
Whoa, hey, calm down, SA. Man, that's fantastic, Eric. Man, good for you, buddy. Man, I wish I would have seen that as well. That's fantastic. I was gonna comment for you there. Hey, I guess I missed it earlier, but this is about 8 hours ago, they say, and major bust. Newsome lies and spins after California. Let's take a look what this is.
After YouTuber Nick Shirley exposed millions in fraudulent hospice subsidies paid to the state of California, lawmakers in the state have finally decided to do something about it.
This is just the latest example of the California DOJ's longstanding, ongoing, and successful efforts to combat hospice and Medi-Cal fraud. We have been doing this work for years. We've been doing it successfully before certain people in this country decided to think about it for the first time. California DOJ has been going after healthcare fraud since 1979. For decades. Trump is late to the party.
Gavin Newsom is trying to take some credit for leading the fight against scams in his state. But the reality is California has lost $180 billion to fraud under Newsom.
Wow, so it's more than just a little bit over $250,000. They said it was $267, but this says New Exposed claims California lost at least $180 billion to fraud under Gavin Newsom's nose. And, you know, Gavin Newsom knows that kind of stuck there, didn't it? No pun intended, but my accent kind of put it in there.
Amount of spin is going to change that. They've been fighting fraud, Dagan, since 1979, I think he said. Wow, it doesn't seem like it.
There was a post under Gavin Newsom's press office yesterday, going after Chris Rufo, who has reported on the vast amounts of fraud in California, specifically about the kind of home health fraud, the recent fraud. And the post said something to the effect, and I'm not going to look down and read it, but California visits every single person receiving this home health.
Impossible.
Right.
That's impossible.
Right. So they lie,
right,
and they spin and they attack, but the people there deserve better, and the residents of California know they deserve better. That they are saddled, they're trying to blame the skyrocketing costs of fuel and gas.
Yeah, they actually called Nick Shirley a liar, a right-wing, far right-wing MAGA YouTuber. That's what they call him. And Gavin Newsom went off on him and all this other stuff. So for them to take credit for what Nick Shirley kind of pointed out and showed all of us in the world, well, they can't take it back, and they should have at least been trying to play it off like they didn't know anything about him. Like, oh my God, what's going on here? Wait a minute, you gonna tell me that nobody's watching this? I mean, they should have played it off. At least they should have played it off. That's what I think.
Gasoline on President Trump and big oil when it's their decisions to enrich green energy companies and crush people who actually have to drive. They have the highest gas taxes in the nation. That is a regressive tax that hurts working people. But they will never own that because they don't care. It is a soullessness that is unique to Gavin Newsom's party, and maybe him.
And that's what I want to ask you about, Taylor. People who live in the state, who see what's going on, who pay those high gas taxes, who may have, an inkling that some of this fraud is going on within the healthcare system. When they hear the Attorney General and they hear Gavin Newsom all of a sudden say, Trump's late to the party, we've been all over this. I mean, they can't possibly believe that.
I knew you were going to ask me that. They don't actually buy that, right? So here's my, this is the hard thing with California is we paint it with a broad brush. You take out San Francisco and LA, the state is relatively conservative, and the Central Valley is MAGA country. So if you take those out, yes, I think people are super aware that it's big government spending. Maybe it's blue dog Democrats that they can try to get on board with. But the problem is those blue dog Democrats then end up voting with the rest of the super liberal party once they go to DC. And so the normal people, I think, understand big government doesn't work, socialism doesn't work, because there's inherent fraud in all of these programs. But the problem is San Francisco and LA, those people, I think, buy what the AG is selling. That yes, they have been tackling fraud, and that's why we keep voting for big government socialism and voting for the left. And then, so those two cities go, the rest of the state goes purely by population. As we know, we're dealing with similar here in New York. So, I mean, look, if they are cracking down on Medi-Cal, God bless them, Godspeed, great to hear it. But as we know, this has been ripe for fraud. We talked yesterday about the Paycheck Protection Program, PPP, in COVID, where my favorite death row inmate was collecting money and stimmies and jobless claims, benefits. And they reported all of this to Sacramento. And most of the lawmakers in Sacramento said, nope, we're not going to follow up and we're not going to prosecute. So the data is there that they've been handed evidence of fraud. And the majority of lawmakers say, oh, it's too complicated or too onerous on us to follow through with it.
And in this particular case of multi-million-dollar hospital.
So what say you, those who disagree with me, what say you about that? All the whole talk about saying that it's impossible to commit this fraud, it's impossible that this is happening. Somebody would be caught. No illegal immigrants are voting, otherwise they would have been caught. Yeah, well, you know. well, that's what I say. You know, if we called out this fraud when we saw it, if we are questioning, so the reason why I question and I kind of tend to lean towards the whole fraud theory, because until it's proven, it's just allegedly. But the whole reason why I lean towards the theory that is fraud is because I have my own questions. For example, why are we raising taxes so much? Why is it? See, you have to understand something. I'm the kind of person that I have worked for big companies. I have managed big companies, okay? And I have learned some stuff. So and throughout my whole career of different jobs and different hats and all this other stuff, by the way, I got lots of hats that I wear here as well. But from the experience that I know is, you know, as a manager, I want to make sure that the company is taken care of. I want to make sure there's 3 people that are very satisfied. One of them is going to be my boss, the owners. Number 2, it has to be the employees. And number 3, but certainly not the least, but one of the most important ones is the customers. So you have to be able to figure out, okay, this is a budget. This is what we need to get done. As a company, and I don't care what company you may have worked for, it could have been Taco Bell, it could have been Burger King, it could have been a fast food restaurant, whatever it was. You had to know that there is an inventory that you got to keep. So the manager is buying all this product to restock, right? And then they have to see and have an inventory check, which I hate, which is why I don't do this job. But you got to go in and check, okay, how many bags of tater tots do you have left? How many bags of sausages? How many bags of eggs? How many bags of chicken, steak, etc.? And then you got to go through all this produce, and the produce that is bad, well, that's a loss for the company. And so there's an inventory. Wait a minute. If I am buying this much, why am I wasting so much food? And then so in the budget, the next time I will buy less things, right? The things that are being wasted the most, I'm going to buy less of. So with that mentality, what I'm saying is this. If we're paying taxes, by the way, listen, they started taking income tax. They started taking income tax out of your money. They started taking money away. That wasn't enough. Well, you know, the rich people were paying most of it, but that wasn't enough. So now we got to pay for it as well. Not only do we pay income tax, well, federal income tax, right? They'll take the federal tax, Some of you pay income state tax. Some of you pay city income tax. That's crazy. Hell to the no. But anyway, so you're paying all these taxes from your checks. This is from billionaire companies. This is from companies that have a lot of money. And they get in charge the same taxes that you get charged, they also get charged. On top of that, they get charged excise tax, BO tax, they do payroll tax, and etc. So they do all these taxes. But that's not enough. They have to have a sales tax. Why? Where's the money going? Why is there a sales tax? Well, when tourists come in, this and that, and then the tourist will pay the sales tax. I'm just giving you an example. The tourist pays the tax, and well, that's not enough anymore. Now we're going to make sure that everybody pays sales taxes, etc. There is always an excuse and a reason to take your money away, and you sheep out there that don't have a problem with it, they just keep taking more and more and more from you. And you don't even realize it because you're used to it. You think that this is your duty as citizens to pay taxes, as residents to pay taxes. And that to a certain point, that is true. It is very true. But you also have to hold the government accountable for what they are doing with your money. If the money, for example, listen, I am pretty sure that you don't want to pay taxes so that I can have I'm not going to say that, so that I can have my legs shaved with laser technology. I'm sure you don't want your tax money to go so that I can get some breast implants. I am sure you don't want that. And so you got to start questioning it. Okay, so where is this money going? You remember the bullet train that they created in California that goes, oh, that's right. There is no train. After hundreds of billions of dollars wasted, there's still no train. And it's been how many years now? Exactly. So you have to question the government. Now, the one thing for me is this. Remember what I told you about being a manager. You got to make sure that three people are happy with you. The boss, the owners, the customers, and also your employees. Okay? You need to hold everybody accountable. You got the president, you got the governor, and you have a mayor per city, per county. You got city councils. You got all kinds of people that are responsible for making sure that everything runs smoothly. Now, I have a problem when I hear mayors in government that say it's Trump's fault. Wait a minute. So there is this guy, I don't know where he's from. I can't remember his name, but he looks Indian and he's got this English accent. I don't know if he's from the UK or Australia. I can't tell some of the accents. But the guy talks so fast, and he puts people in a nervous breakdown sometimes. And I'm just sitting there, and I like the Poland president. He put him on his spot, and I'll find the clip and I'll play it for you. But the point is this, that the one thing that they try to bring in as an argument is, well, wait a minute. So if the president is putting 100% tariffs on China, well, isn't that going to cause that? Well, let's finish that question. If the president is going to put 100% tariffs on China because China is putting 100% tariff on us already. Reciprocal tariffs. Why are the leftists okay with us being screwed and not holding anybody accountable for it? Well, the mentality is just left. I mean, they picked the right party. They went left. They're jackasses. They went too far. And that is a problem. So you have the scenario of, they don't care that the world is taking advantage of us. They are taking our economy. They're taking our economy, literally. They're taking our jobs. They're taking all these manufacturers out of here. And they don't care. The left don't care. They just don't care. So when President Trump says we're going to put, reciprocal taxes, tariffs on it, it's because they're screwing us over. And what we want is fair trade. See, people say, I want free trade. But when they say that, they're just looking after themselves, which is okay. That's the survival instinct, right? In us and businessmen, we'll look at it that way. I never believe on stepping on somebody else's head so that I can get ahead. You know what I'm saying? So you have this mentality from the left of jackasses that when they see fraud, you see, when COVID hit and they shut down the government, they had all these subsidies that they gave to everybody. We have stimulus checks going left and right. What she said about prisoners getting stimulus checks, listen, they still have a Social Security. They're still citizens. They're still residents. They are still getting money from the government. Why? Because the Social Security says that they are citizens and they are entitled to it. But what they don't realize is they're in jail. They don't deserve a stimulus check. They got to make license plates for 10 cents a plate. They're prisoners. When you're in jail, you have no privilege. You shouldn't have privilege. You should have no TV. You can have books. Read. No TV. No cable. No fights. No UFC. No boxing. Maybe some soccer. I'm just joking. But again, you see what I'm saying? They shouldn't have comfortable beds at all. They should have a flat surface to lay on, and that's it. Temperature should be regulated. That's, we're not animals. Temperature should be regulated. That's fine. I think that's fine. But people should know. That's right, Zig. But people should know that being a prisoner or being a criminal doesn't pay. If you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime. So again, go into COVID, right? You get all the stimulus checks, blah, blah, blah. Do you think they want to investigate? No, it's too much work. We're just going to waste more money. We need more manpower. The investigation, who gives a shit? We'll just tax the people more money. This is the richest country on earth. But wait, we need money for the for DHS, for national national. Oh my God, home security. Oh my God, I can't think of the word now. For national security. Well, who cares? We don't need that. Wait a minute. How do we defend ourselves? You don't care that all this fraud is happening. I mean, that's over $180 billion just in California. It's happening in Oregon, Washington. We just beat California in the highest taxes. We suck. We suck. California was taking first place. Now Washington State takes first place. That is ridiculous. So again, there is all this money being wasted, and they said, we don't care. There's enough money on this fake Green New Deal, which was shit. We know all of it. COVID was BS. We know all of it. But you know what? Democrats took control. Even the president, doggone it, even President Trump couldn't do anything for COVID. And when he tried to please the Democrats, they just made him look like a jerk. I'm saying, why did Maxine Waters have a problem with Doge going in and auditing all these services? We found out that Somalia's economy was being supported 100% by our tax dollars. That's a problem. You know what happened to that? They just swept it right under the rug. And they think we don't pay attention, but we don't forget. We're just counting everything. Yep, we're just counting everything. You know why I do this show? Because I was counting everything, just holding it all together. Grabbing all these skills, taking photos, making videos, working technical support for internet, phone, digital cable, etc. I'm learning all these skills. I've been doing radio. I've been preaching. I've been doing public events. I have spoken in stadiums before in Honduras with thousands and hundreds of thousands of people around it. There's not a problem. I like that. But the point is that I'm holding everything in here and I'm just counting until one day I'm just going to explode. And here we are today. I gather all this knowledge during the 50 years of my life, almost. I still got a couple of months. Almost a half a century old. And the thing is that, it's not about being smart. It's about acquiring wisdom, using critical thinking to get the best outcome. Did you know how many people came on here on my show and they actually told me on the phone, "Oh, I'm an economist. I've been doing this for 30 years. There's no way you know more than me about these tariffs. I know that it's going to cause the Great Depression again, and we're going to go in recession this year." And I said, well, I hope that you are wrong, because I want to make some money on my 401k. And I did. So that 30-year economist was full of shit, which tells me that I don't have to have a doctorate on anything if you are able to use critical thinking. I'm not saying that I'm a genius, but I'm not an idiot, and I don't like being manipulated. When I wanted to hear about stock, I had to find out, what is the stock? Oh, a stock is just a fear-mongering tool to make you invest or to make you dump your stocks. That's all there is. They're not an economy. They don't make the dollar. They don't break the dollar. The stock doesn't run the local economy. We do that. Our services, our produce, all the stuff that we sell in here in our country, that's what moves the local economy. If you're looking about investments in companies and major corporations like that, then yes, you want to invest. That is your prerogative. But it's a gamble when you play with stocks. So I really don't play with that. But nonetheless, I'm not a very aggressive, investor. I've always taken the light approach, so to speak. And so if you are an aggressive stock, holder or whatever you do, well, good for you. I don't do that. But that's just me. Again, that's just me. I want to clarify. All right. Whew, man, that's a lot of explanation, man. I know some people will come in here and be like, "Oh, this guy's full of it." Well, prove me wrong. Give me a better explanation on how things work. Because I'm going to tell you, so far, I've been right about everything I've said in my show. Everything. I know, and it's not to boast on myself. It's God be all the glory, because He's the one that gives us the wisdom. But I've been right about everything. Why? And some of my members, they know. Sometimes I call them up and I ask them for opinions. Why? Because I know that we have the same values, that we support the same policies. So I know that there's not going to be any animosity between us. And so when I ask my big bros here, "Hey, what do you think about this? I was thinking about this and that," and they give me great information that makes common sense. It fits. Now, the reason why I know a lot is because I have spent a lot of time researching. Everything that I have, it's all been capturing for years of my life, because I like doing that. Now what we got daily is whatever comes out to us now. And then we can look at videos and we can analyze them, and we can be our own panel. And then we can discuss these things, and then we can either have a good conversation or have a bad conversation. What I don't want is people to just come into my channel and just be jerks. That's not what it's about. It's like, if you want to come in here, one, you have to make a note to yourself. You're walking into somebody else's house. In here, I want all of my subscribers. I want my members. I don't want them to be bothered with your garbage. If you're not here to have a conversation, you shouldn't be here. Just keep on scrolling, all right? But with that being said, let's go ahead and continue, and so that we can finish this clips.
This fraud, Gary, 5 people have been arrested, and that Attorney General Rob Bonta is part of this. I'm not saying that he's not, but I don't remember a headline about fraud in California probably my whole lifetime, which is roughly as dating back to when he's talking about.
Well, somebody's running for president, so I think they take polls. Oh, let's go fight fraud, and let's figure this out and go after it. I watched, by the way, I have no love for any politician, but Gavin Newsom was out last week saying how wonderful California is doing, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm in Florida, we're running a surplus. without state taxes. They're running huge deficits with monstrous straight taxes. And I must tell you, the gas tax, do you know there's a 41-cent mystery tax in the gas tax? And I'm thinking to myself, what's the matter with the people there? Why aren't they yelling and screaming, get rid of that 41 cents?
Right, what is this?
I have friends in California that send me pictures of the prices of gas in the last week. Holy smokes. I mean, I don't know, how does anybody go with that? And he was talking about better GDP, but I'm a big believer. California is one of the most beautiful states. People there work hard, want to do well for themselves and their family. They want upward mobility. And all California does in the government is fight against them. Higher taxes, regulations up the wazoo. Go look on any website to see how many departments there are there. It is absolute insane. I think they would be doing 15% GDP if they just get the heck out of the way. But no, control freakism from the top in California rules.
I just hope that people, the rest of the country, not just the red parts of California, can see through this, because the 180 they're doing to make it look like they've been doing something about this, to me, that they think it would work. And who knows, maybe some people buy it.
Here's the tweet. This is Newsom's press office, or ex-post. Fact: California officials visit each recipient of the home care initiative and make sure they need it, and to best determine the number of care hours each person needs, and then accuses Chris Rufo assuming it's fraud solely because you don't need it or dislike the policy, and then say that you're slapping people in the face who are providing care and trying to act like that someone calling out fraud and digging it up and finding it and demanding prosecution for it is the villain.
Right.
In fact, it's the people, one, Medi-Cal, we pay that. That's Medicaid. So we're paying it, the federal government, but we're demanding accountability because we don't want the money spent on con artists and crooks. We want it spent on those in need.
Sure.
And that's the nation.
Well, if you want me to talk about what Trump is doing, but you don't want to listen, I mean, what is the point, right? All right, so you're still watching some takes here from the capsule that landed on the ocean. And before we do that, why don't we go visit Nick Shirley's page? I want you to know this is what Gavin Newsom portrays Nick Shirley as. Here's a guy with all sorts of cameras on him. Hey, can I see your kids? This is your wonderful Gavin Newsom skills. Here's Nick. Fake shell hospice companies making millions in California. Now, don't you find it interesting that this looks like a damn hotel or motel or a small cheap apartment complex in California, and they actually have a business address, a business name on this address. Look at that, Miracle Healing Hospice, Inc. Incorporated. Oh man, is that an empty house?
California, massive fraud is taking place with hospice.
And check this out. Watch inside.
For instance, this location, Miracle Healing Hospice, billed over $1.3 million. Medicare paid them $966,000. Something interesting about this location. If you come right here to Miracle Healing Hospice, and if you want to knock on the door, nobody's going to answer because nobody's actually inside.
It's empty.
And so this right here is a prime example of the millions that eventually accumulate to billions of dollars of fraud taking place here inside of California with these things like hospice, home health care, adult day health care as well. And something interesting about this location, these are all hospices. All of these are hospices. But what's super interesting about this is if you take a look at the parking lot, the cars that are in here, you have a Cybertruck, you have a brand new BMW. Over there you have 3 really nice cars, a BMW, Mercedes, and a Mercedes. And these locations are billing millions of dollars. For instance, Guardian of Angels Hospice and Blossom Hospice, they're also here. They've
Eric, don't be naive. Don't be naive and don't be gullible. He obviously can't go in there and investigate. He's not an investigator. He's an investigative journalist. He's doing the best that he can. Now, the fact that Gavin Newsom went off on him and you know, just instead of saying, wait a minute, where did you get this data from? Let me see what I can do here. No, he didn't. He attacked him. And now, I can't even believe, Eric, that you just made that comment. Why would you even make that stupid-ass comment? Have you not watched Rob Bonta saying that they did find 267 million? Where the hell have you been? Debunked? What the hell are you talking about? The Attorney General for California just said it. They did find 267 million. What the hell is this guy smoking? What are you smoking? It's not me making it up. He said all this stuff. You know what? He got the ball rolling. He got the ball rolling. And then now the AG, Rob Bonta, is going to go and take credit saying, we've been doing this for 5 decades. We got all of this under control. Nick Shirley is just an extreme right-wingers YouTuber influencer. Come on, man. Don't be naive. You got to see the truth for what it is, man.
We've been after that for years and years before Oz was even on the scene.
So 1,773 hospices, but Gavin Newsom has been on it from the beginning.
Hospice, we've been after that for years and years before Oz was even on the scene. California was able to stop it. This is purely political. Nothing I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you. And we all just sit there rolling our eyes going, give me a break.
He is a horrible actor. If you don't realize right now that he is lying to you, oh boy. Let me make this a little bit smaller. Look at it. Look at his acting when he tells you this. Here we go. Ready? Look at this.
Nothing I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you. And we all just sit there rolling our eyes going, give me a break. Hospice.
As he lies to you, telling you that. Oh, boy. I just want to make sure that I show some stuff here from Nick Shirley, because this young man has been giving shit about what he's been doing with all these fraud claims. Now, he doesn't say that they're all legit, and even if he can't find anything to go behind what he actually sees, that doesn't mean that they should throw him away and just forget about it and just make him look like a bad person. As a matter of fact, let me find his speech from Turning Point USA. Let me see if I can play this. I think I can play it because it's his clip.
I'm super excited to be here and to be able to speak to you guys today. And I'm not here to speak on behalf of Republicans nor Democrats. I'm here to speak on behalf of we the people. I think nowadays we can all agree that we all just want to live the American dream and have the best life possible. However, it feels that sometimes, actually a lot of times, non-controversial issues are becoming controversial inside of America. For instance, if you take a look at the idea of deporting illegal migrants, that word is illegal. That should not be controversial.
Now, I will say this. I'd rather have somebody misspeak, have some sort of delay or whatever, but be honest, than to somebody that talks to me slick and lies to my face while he smiles, thinking of how he's going to destroy me. Please. I know these demons personally. I know them, and they're not going to lie to me. Everything Trump does, I recommend, if you haven't seen or read The Art of the Deal. You got to go get that book so that you can learn why you got to speak a certain way to throw off your opponents. But who am I to explain to you? You'll never understand it because your brain and your heart is so full of hatred. You don't even know who you are. You don't know who you are because you don't know who God is. And until you have some sort of ground to be able to stand on, you're just going to be a flake, throwing false accusations into the winds where there is no ground to flourish. I pray for you. I pray that you find mercy and grace from God as everybody else has. May you be enlightened. But let me just remind you, He's not going to force you. He's not going to come into your life unless you ask. That's how polite God is. Because when your time for punishment comes, He's going to say, I gave you a chance. I didn't force you. I didn't force you. There's no excuses for your misbehavior. There is no excuses for your bad behavior. There is no excuses for you giving into sin when I give you plenty of opportunities to come clean. Yeah, who am I? The socialist Democrats are Marxist, communist, socialist. And people are not going to understand what that is when they're inside that cult because they are happy in sexual immorality, in perverted minds. Everything that they see is perverted. Even when a mother is kissing their son on the cheek, they are perverted. They don't know what that is. They don't know what the expression means. But that's their fault. That's not our fault. We know who we are.
Or the idea that showing your ID to vote has become controversial. That's not controversial either. The idea that fraud is bad has become controversial. How is that controversial? I know a little bit about fraud. I know a little bit about Minnesota daycares as well. And it's crazy to think that we live in a world where somebody who exposes fraud can then be painted as the bad man from the politicians where he exposed the fraud. Shouldn't they be excited to know that the fraud is being exposed because that's not a Republican dollar or a Democrat dollar, it's actually our dollars. I've never gotten a dollar bill that says right or red or blue or right or left. We all live inside of the same country and we should all want the best for our country. And when you see fraud inside of our country taking place at literally rampant levels, for instance, in Minnesota, there were programs like autism where you have 10,000% increases in the budget for autism. And this money then goes into the hands of fraudsters. How does somebody not look at that and say, there's a 10,000% increase in the budget for autism? Is there a 10,000% increase in autistic children inside of our neighborhoods? And if the answer is no, how are they justifying a 10,000% increase in the budget? And in other instances like California, where you have 1,000% increase in hospices, is everyone going to die in LA? I don't think so. So the idea that here inside the United States, when we have these non-controversial issues that have become controversial, it puts us into a weird culture war where it puts people into a position to think, okay, well, wait, how are you supporting this when you're actually not benefiting we the people? We all live inside of the United States. We're not supposed to be, when elected officials elected, they're not supposed to represent 50% of the population. They're supposed to represent 100% of the population. In an instance where fraud is taking place inside of our country, each and every single person should want to crack down on that fraud. Because if we don't, these people can continue just to literally steal our dollars, and they steal our dollars, and then they send it overseas, and once it's overseas, we can't ever get that money back. And that's something that I've learned as I've gone about exposing this fraud. And a lot of times, these people that are taking our tax dollars are foreigners who are not even from the United States of America, and they're stealing our money. And it's just been so crazy to see how in all 50 states there is fraud. However, it seems to be that most of the fraud is in a lot of these blue cities. And when you go out and expose the fraud, I mean, I think Gavin Newsom, he posted a photo of me the other day and had 10 cameras on me, an AI-generated image saying, "Where are the kids?" trying to depict me as a pervert for exposing fraud. How sick does a governor have to be to?
Well, that's Satan. That's what the devil does. And whether people want to believe it or not, it is a spiritual battle. You don't have to believe it. But I will tell you this. I have an answer for you there, my friend. And I want to use the Bible to give you an answer, Mr. Eric Klein. Now, I know that the Bible tells me that the rain falls over the good and the wicked. And here is a parable that I am going to share with you today. This is, and we're going to go from Matthew 13, 24 to 30. And this is what the Bible tells me about us who live together in this world with other sinners. See, we get to make a choice. We get to grow with good and bad people. But we are only going to grow as good as we choose to grow good. If you give yourself into evil thoughts and follow evil men, you will produce evil fruits. In this case, it's talking about the weeds. And well, let's go ahead and take it from the Bible and see what it says. The parable of the weeds. Jesus told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while everyone was sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat and went away. When the wheat sprouted and formed heads, then the weeds also appeared. The owners and servants came to him and said, "Sir, didn't you sow good seed in your field? Where then did these weeds come from?" "An enemy did this," he replied. The servants asked him, "Do you want us to go and pull them all up?" He said, "No," he answered, "because while you are pulling the weeds, you may uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. This is where you and I will be separated. Those who believe in God and have chosen to fight the good fight against evil will be with God. At that time, I will tell the harvesters, first collect the weeds and tie them in bundles to be burnt. Then gather the wheat and bring it into my barn." You see, Jesus talked in parables so that we may have the Holy Spirit come and tell us when to use such parables. You say that we live in the same place as everybody else, probably committing fraud, etc. And there you have an example that we are meant to live amongst bad and good. But we get to choose. Do you want to be, a good person, or you want to be a bad person? It's very simple to see. I know, guys. A lot of people are just very ignorant about what they say, and they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. I get it. Let me see. I think I put it here on my Facebook account. I think I put it on here. Let me see. Let me look for it. Don't want to be putting everybody here on blast, but that was my link that I shared for. Okay, so it's not on my Facebook. Where the hell did I put this at then? Let's see. Did I put it on my X account? Let me take a look. No. Oh boy, we're not even sharing that. Here's what I shared earlier from the Instagram. And I want you to look at this. Samuel, hang in there, buddy. I know you're in there making comments, but I can't really look at your comments, my brother. Sorry about that. I want you to listen to this madness. And I'm going to tell you guys, if you are one of those people who likes to cheer about the midterms that the Socialist Democrats are going to win, this is your future. This has been happening in Canada for the last couple of decades. It's been building up. And just as soft as the UK is, so was Canada. Canada is already overrun with these people. If you continue to support Socialist Democrats, this is exactly what you will get. Speakers at the Democratic Party conference in Canada argue over their gender equity cards because those issues are very important in our life. Forget about raising kids with good morals and good values and teaching them to be great patriots so that one day when they are called upon, that they will be great soldiers that will stand up and be warriors to defend their country and their nation and their people. Nope. That's not what we want. Let's raise a society, a whole civilization of nincompoops like this.
There's a point of privilege on microphone 1, then we'll go to microphone 3. Go ahead, delegate.
Yes, hello. I was standing here with my gender equity card before you called on the previous speaker. That's my point of privilege that I would like to raise.
I will explain the speaking order, which is fixed, that I cannot amend, which is the pro-con rotation. You can move yourself up a line that you're standing in.
I am pro, and I was...
We went...
You went pro, con...
We went pro-con, pro, and my plan was to go con. The speaker at con mic 3 also has a speaking card.
Yesterday, this card was used in an inappropriate manner. And while I understand in Ontario we note this as equity, even if that, this was also used inappropriately in terms of gender. I want everyone to be mindful that these cards for individuals like myself who identify as a Black woman have no value outside of this space.
Thank you, delegate. There's a point of privilege on microphone 1, then we'll go to microphone 3. Go ahead, delegate.
Now, if you are against I know it's hard for the leftists to do this. I know that you don't like Trump, but believe me, he is the right man for the job, and everything that's happening right now, it's good. I know how it looks, but it's good. I want you to know, if you tell me right now, if you tell me that this country will be better off with Socialist Democrats, imagine this type of leadership negotiating with the Iranian regime right now. What the hell do you think they are going to do to our country? I wish that I had nice things to say. I wish I had nice things to say about a Socialist Democrat. But I'm a real Democrat. These are flakes. They're too soft. The men are too effeminate. The women, they're too effeminate, but they pretend to be men. And they're just jerks. They think in their mind that being a male means that you got to be a jerk. To have a sexual desire on somebody, it's not in your DNA. It's a social construct. Here is where we learn. Boys should be with girls when they grow up. A boy and a girl will become teenagers. Those teenagers will be adults. A boy will marry a female. A man will marry a woman. And they'll create a family. But the social construct in which you live in is going to determine what you think is the right way to live. These people that don't believe in God, they think that they are gender fluid. What the hell is that? They don't know what the pronoun he is. A single person think that they have split personalities. Therefore, they are they, them. A man with male privates thinks he's a woman. Well, goody, but he's not. You ask a justice in the Supreme Court before she gets appointed, what is a woman? This grown-ass woman, which by the way is a liberal, she is a socialist Democrat with Marxist roots. She don't know what a woman is. But she's going to tell you how to protect women? How does that work? You see, there's a reason why we have males and females. I'm going to tell you, my wife is strong, and she'll probably kick a lot of guys' ass because she's very strong. But she's not strong to put up against me. There is men out there that are stronger than me and probably can kick my ass. Absolutely. Depends on your muscle. Depends on your training. Depends on what you know. I got that. But a woman will never, ever be able to beat a man who is at her level of training. Because the man has more muscles in his body. The woman is made more to retain water for pregnancy. There is a reason why we have society the way that we have it today. And every time people try to go against that, it just falls apart. It gets destroyed. Eric, I think you're just trolling. I think you're just trolling. I don't know if I want to have you on my chat. I want you to tell me something. Were you hoping that President Trump would attack the way he said he would attack? I want to know, because this will show how hypocritical you are. You're a hypocrite. You're a snake. You're a weed amongst the wheat. You are the snakes that we don't want in our country. You slither your lies wherever you lay, wherever you go. But most of us have the Holy Spirit and we have discernment. For I speak of the truth. You speak lies, deceit. You raise false accusations. We are battling a regime, not the country, a regime that has been attacking American citizens for 47 years. Not only is that regime evil, they kill over 45,000 of their own people simply for using our First Amendment right here in the United States of America. Now, I want to know what you snakes in my chat are doing here today. Because the last time I checked, you defended two idiots that put themselves in harm's way trying to protest. And you nearly burned down the city and the federal buildings have been vandalized. I want to know, why do you snakes protect the Iranian regime who killed thousands of their own people for using the same First Amendment right that we have? Who's the snake? Oh, I know the Slytherin. I know you demons. See, you think you don't have a demon because you don't believe in God. But the thing is, you don't have to believe in God for Satan to be real. Oh, because he's very real. And so are his demons. We attacked the Capitol. I didn't personally. I can tell you some people did after they were set up to do it. I agree. But you know what I also know? It's that the Capitol is no more important than Papa's shop, the mom and pop shops. The Capitol building and those snakes in that building are not any better or more important than regular American citizens who put their ass in that seat. They did nothing to protect them. They said it was peaceful protest. Well, guess what was happening on January 6th? It was just a simple protest. It was peaceful. All they did was beat up a couple of cops. All they did was just break a few windows. You people are out there defending your First Amendment right, committing riots, stealing, looting. Get out of here with your ghetto ass lying. Think I was born yesterday? F the Capitol building and all those thieves in that den. If you want to put it that way, that's the way we can put it. Because you didn't say anything where mom and pop shops were being burned down by criminals like Antifa, Black Panthers, when all this BLM BS group was fraudulently taking money from the black communities, telling them that they were fighting for them because Black Lives Matter, they say. But the black people didn't give a shit about the black community. All they did was go out there and buy themselves and take care of themselves. That was it. Bye, Eric. Nice having you. Get your sorry ass out of my chat. You see why people get kicked out? It's not because they disagree with me. It's because they come over here and troll. They asked me for a fact. Well, here we go. I showed them. I showed them video. I gave them scripture. I showed them what the Democratic Party is doing. That's all we do. So if you don't agree with me, well, show me. Put it on the chat. Hey, here you go, Dennis. This is what I think is wrong with you. Here we go. But no, they just come here and they just want to be a nuisance. That's it. That's it. So we don't have time for that shit, okay? We just don't. I don't know where you want to go with it, but we just don't have time for that BS. Man, I want to share this truth right here with you. I want you to look at this. This is Nayib Bukele. And let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you guys. Maybe a little bit smaller. Okay. He says, if you don't impeach the corrupt judges, you cannot fix the country. They will form a cartel and block all reforms, protecting the systematic corruption, that put them in their seats. Do you understand that? That's Nayib Bukele. Nayib Bukele thinks the way that I think. He became president of El Salvador, one of the most violent countries in the world. He told the truth as I have. People don't like me because I tell the truth. No, my truth is not my truth. The truth is the truth. It's not an opinion. The truth is a truth. If I give you an opinion, that's an opinion. He saw that he was fighting against crime, And as he was fighting crime, he saw that the people that he was putting in jail were going free. What does Mondani do in New York right now? Tell me right now. What is he doing in New York? Freeing the prisoners. What? Now what? 14 times released from prison, killed an innocent Ukrainian woman. What? Tell me that's a lie. Tell me that's a lie. Tell me, who is putting taxes and regulations on your gas right now? Your government, your governor, the mayor, your representatives, you jackasses. Those are the ones that are making your gas go up through the roof. Who raises the prices on your groceries? Your local government. Of course it is. Regulation, payroll tax, excise tax, BO tax. Now they added city income state tax. 10%. I'm sorry, 9.9%. You know, if you guys are like from another country, I get it. If you live under a shell and all you hear is what other gamers tell you, I can see why you're retarded. But that's okay. Nobody's perfect. I said Venezuela needed to be put in this place, and it was. I was right about that. I said we need to have the border secure. I voted for Trump. I was right about that. I said there was fraud happening in Washington State. I was right about that. I said that fraud was happening in California. I was right about that. I said President Trump was going to be successful with Venezuela. I was right about that. I said Trump needs to go and attack Iran's regime. I was right about that. We don't need the Strait of Hormuz. If anything, you morons don't know how much we benefit by the Hormuz being shut. We got plenty of oil. And now we got Venezuela on our side. And Cuba is next. You guys have no brains, do you? You guys have no brains. I'll tell you what. I'll let you guys call in. And you tell me how you're going to fix this problem with Iran's regime. And then we'll see where you go from there. Let me see. Let me make sure that the line is going to be available so that you can call in. And then you don't have to argue with me. I'll give you 5 minutes. And then you can tell all of us all about it. I will give you the mic. I'm not going to question you. I'm just going to give you 5 minutes. Okay? 5 minutes. All you want to say. Now, if you start acting like a jerk, I will cut your ass off. All right, here we go. So we're going to go ahead and put in the number. All you got to do is call that number, and I'll give you 5 minutes, and then you can tell me all about it. I want you to tell me how you're going to do it, because you seem to be a genius, apparently, on what's going on. You can talk to me about gas prices. You can pick the Strait of Hormuz. You can pick anything. You can pick anything. Here we go. All right, here we go. Here we go. Go ahead, Rock James. Here we go. Shelf Underground. Let's go, baby. I want to hear it, but I want you to be honest, okay? Be honest. Hey, who's calling?
This is Dennis.
No, I'm Dennis. Who's this? I'm just playing. I'm just playing, Dennis. What's up? All right, you got 5 minutes. Tell me how everything should be happening. How do we lower gas, or what do you want to talk about? So everybody knows.
I don't understand how you say that we don't need the Strait of Hormuz when 80% of the world's total natural gas comes through that strait.
Correct.
So yes,
that is correct.
We as a country can produce a significant amount, but not enough to single-handedly power our whole country and at the same time make money, which is the country's whole objective with gas.
Okay, so what?
There's no point in saying that, right?
Okay.
Another point I have is, how can you claim that Trump is a good negotiator when he is literally being controlled by another country and is at the whim of them? He calls a ceasefire, and then the next day Israel blows up Lebanon.
Okay, hold on. But it sounds like you're asking me questions. But I don't want you to ask me questions. I want you to tell me your logic. So, for example, if you say the Strait of Hormuz, okay, so the world's, everything, goes through there. The world needs it. We don't have enough. Okay, I want you to dive in there, right? Just like I would. Like, for example, I'll give you Hormuz myself.
Okay, I'll dive in. There's two ways to dive in. You can look at it as one that this is a pointless war that did not need to happen, and that we are now in a situation where it is going to be messed up regardless. Whichever way we get out of here, it's screwed.
Okay, but you said
we should have never been in there. The second option is we literally we congregate with the other countries in the region and let them figure it out, because there's no reason we should be there in the first place. You can talk about the regime, but the whole point of everything was to just not interfere with anything else, because we have enough problems going on in the first place here.
Okay, but you see, you're not understanding what I'm asking you. So you, right at the beginning of your statement, right? You already had something negative that you said. So the way that this is what I'm going to explain to you. If I say, okay, attacking the Iranian regime is wrong, right there, you need to pause and tell me why.
It's not our place to do it.
Okay, but that's not an answer. Why is it not our place to do it?
Because we have enough problems of our own. Who are we to challenge the regime of a country across the world?
So what problems do we have?
We are literally having insurrections during our own elections. We can't even have confidence in our own elections, yet we have the gall to say we have the moral high ground to change regimes in Venezuela or in Iran.
Okay, so that's a good point. So who do you hold accountable for that?
I mean, the obvious choice is Donald Trump.
No, that's not the obvious choice. Why Donald Trump?
Who else
is Donald Trump your governor?
He is the
he's not.
Commander-in-Chief of the military.
Of the United States, yeah, but not of you. You got your own governor. You got your own president.
But my tax dollars that I pay every day are being sent overseas. So yes, I care about it.
You get more money than you pay in taxes. You don't pay taxes. You don't pay taxes.
What do you mean I don't pay taxes?
You get
I have a
refunds?
full-time job.
Yeah, you got refunds? How much is your refunds?
Like in total $2,500.
Okay, you pay a little bit of taxes, I'm sure. But but so even then, you think that your $2,000 taxes that you pay, I don't know, a year, you think all that money is going to be making a difference here in the United States?
No, but I
think they're using my taxes.
$200 billion could damn well fix the roads in front of my house.
Well, Gavin Newsom just lost $180 billion.
That could fix every road in the country.
Yeah, we can say that can, but it doesn't. But it doesn't. Why doesn't it do it? Tell me that.
Because it's the system. It's the system.
Okay, so who is responsible?
Military-industrial complex.
Yeah.
That has to be force-fed war.
Yeah, but who's responsible for it?
The politicians in general. I mean, in my
Here,
opinion,
look, let me help you out a little bit.
Lobbying should be.
Let me help you out a little bit. You're talking points from the left right now. Let me give you some pointers. You have governors, mayors that are supposed to take care of our cities and states. Okay?
No, don't get me wrong. I come from
No, but wait. No, because you're throwing the blame to the wrong person. I want you to make your own dedicated decision, not somebody else's decision. So if you say we have enough problems of our own here domestically, okay, I agree. But this is how I talk. The reason why we have that problem is because we have governors and mayors that go against our president. So if you want to blame President Trump, you got to look at why you want to blame him. Okay, well, let's see. If we have gang problems, hold on. If we have gang problems, if we have violence, if we have unaffordability, what is your governor doing? See, I live in a blue state, so I see things different. So what is the governor doing for us here? Now, here in Washington, I can tell you, this governor protects illegal criminal aliens, not just illegal immigrants, illegal criminal aliens, and puts them before us, the American people. They have been wasting money, I kid you not, $600 million for laser hair removal in prisons and breast implants to assure men that want to be women can have nice, perky breasts that look like real women. This is the kind of government that we have, and they have the guts to blame President Trump.
What could I look up? What could I look up to like to where you justify thinking that that's true? What could I look up to be like, okay, I get it? Because in my mind, don't get me wrong, there is frivolous government spending that happens on dumb bullshit. I'm not disagreeing with you, but that to me sounds insane. Now, I'm happy to be proven wrong. Don't get me wrong. But that amount of money on tit surgeries for prisoners to me sounds absolutely nuts.
It's crazy.
Now, if that's true, I'll shut up. But to me, I don't think that is true at all.
Well, they're the ones that say it.
That I have seen articles that say that, but then they automatically get debunked and disproven.
Well, you can debunk it when the city council is telling you that that's what it goes for.
Yes, but the numbers get enlarged a lot for that. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but it's them. They're the ones giving you the number.
When Trump was campaigning about illegal immigrants, he was saying there were like 45 million illegal immigrants in the country. That wasn't fucking true. There was like 7 to 10, depending on the like realistic surveys that you're looking at across the board. Some said 7, some said 10, some said as high as 12. But for the consensus, it was mainly between 7 and 10. And these people are shooting out numbers like 30 million illegal immigrants. Okay, if that were true, then I would agree with mass deportations because at that point it's too extreme. But that was just never even in the question. So that's why you see ICE now randomly arresting people to fit quotas because the initial belief in the initial number on the number of illegal immigrants was false to begin with. So that's what I mean, that like these stories that are talked about, yes, there could be some basis of truth to it, but the way that it gets exaggerated is insane. So then, yes, that's the perfect cover for wasting government money. Not saying that that number that you said, it probably did all go to waste. Now, was that all on breast implants and fucking laser surgery?
Yes.
Probably, yeah, maybe some of it.
Well, I put it on the chat. I put it on the chat so you can read it. But, this is something that they said, the Democrat. This is one of the guys that is actually pushing for this to happen here in Washington State, and they have passed it. So it's not somebody made it up. They are the ones doing it. They're the ones that made the budget. I want to read it to you. Washington State has included funding for laser hair removal and electrolysis as part of the gender-affirming care for transgender incarcerated individuals. Tell me, please, that this is something that we should be using money. That gender-affirming care for incarcerated individuals is important.
Did it get proposed or did it get passed?
It's passed. This coverage defended by some officials is medically necessary health care. It became a point of contention back in 2025 to the 2026 budget debates. So they passed it. And that is something that has increased our taxes. Here, let me see. Let me see if this one is a clip about it. Let me see.
I have is you guys are spending money on too many things. Things like literally paying for laser hair removal and boob jobs for transgender prison inmates, men who want to go in the women's prison and feel more feminine.
Right.
Do you really believe that taxpayer money should be spent on something like that?
It might be a difference in how we look at the role that these institutions can play, but I believe that I would believe that there are probably 100 things before we get to
Doesn't matter. I'm asking you a question.
Or making use of those kinds of resources within a prison.
It doesn't matter.
No.
Do you believe that taxpayer money should be spent giving a prison inmate laser hair removal?
I do, yeah. I think
Holy Sean.
I think if that's
That's crazy.
I think if that's
That's a state lawmaker telling you that, yes, he finds it right for them to be using our taxpayer dollars for laser hair removal for prisoners.
If I can agree that that is wrong and that shouldn't happen, can you agree with me that what our president is doing right now is completely idiotic? Like
No.
on Easter morning,
No.
saying that Tuesday will be National, what was it, Bridge and Power Plant Day in Iran because
Yeah.
he's going to blow up civilian infrastructure,
Yeah.
which is a war crime, and then said praise
No, it's
be
not.
to Allah on Easter.
Yeah, making
in a
fun of them.
In a Christian country.
Well, Easter is not for Muslims.
If Joe Biden did that, what would you say?
But I don't care. Islam is they don't care about Jesus, for one.
Okay, but my point being, if Joe Biden did that, would you care?
No, it'll be the same thing. Why would I care?
You wouldn't care.
No, I wouldn't.
That is insane.
No, I wouldn't. Why would I? That's the problem. Why would I?
Why would you? Because if any person said that, you would think they're insane. If Joe Biden said that, I would call for his impeachment right away.
Yeah, because you don't understand what it means.
It's a threat of a war crime.
No, why? I don't remember. I don't remember that being a war crime when Barack Obama bombed 78 locations with civilian electrical facilities and oils. Well, it's too late to call it a war crime. It's been done before with no punishment. No, why would it be now for Trump? Can change it.
You think it would be better to just keep letting it happen?
I think he should just destroy it and take all that stuff out, and they will have no choice. They will have no choice.
What about the 90 million people that live in the country?
They want that. They asked President Trump to do it. You have to understand something. Have you ever heard that it's better to die? Hold on.
I understand.
No. Wait a minute. You don't understand. You don't understand. There is people that rather die on their feet than to live on their knees. Do you know what that means?
Yes, I know.
Okay, so if you know what that means, I don't have to tell you anything else.
But again, who are we to do it? Who are we to send all that money over there when we have 300 million people that could very much
That's your poor mentality.
How is that a poor
That is a
mentality?
poor mentality. How about you go raise some money and start helping people around your neighborhood?
So if it's that important, then why cut off all US aid to all the countries in the world? USAID.
Well, do you not know what USAID was doing for Somalia? We were supporting their whole budget, their whole economy in Somalia. We were paying for with our taxes.
That is not true.
Well, you can say that all you want. Go research it. Go research it.
That is not true.
It is a fact.
There was the USAID would get audited all the time.
No, that's why they try to stop it. Absolutely.
Through every president, Republican or Democratic, they fucking audit it like crazy. So there was no rampant fraud with USAID. There is fraud with plenty of government agencies. Don't get me wrong. I live in southern Louisiana. We are known for our corruption through local government. I've grown up around it my entire life. I understand it. But there was that agency was one of the good ones. It built so much goodwill and good faith with so many countries around the world.
It was abused. It was abused.
But there was no proof. It was audited like.
Well, let me read it to you. Here, you're very ignorant on the subject, so I'll give you a break.
Crazy.
Listen to this.
No.
The shutdown of the U.S. Agency for International Development, your USAID, in 2025 has had a severe negative impact on Somalia's economy, causing significant strain in its GDP and tax revenues. Guess whose taxes was paying for them? They were sending millions of dollars daily to Somalia through having Somali pirates in all the airports from here in Europe. And this is how they were taking care of the economy of Somalia. So don't come over here and tell me that I'm lying when I've done this research for years, my friend. And I have been doing this longer than you have been even in my channel here.
That's like the Alex Jones mentality. It's like Alex Jones starts with something good, like an idea that has like some semblance in truth. and then he just runs with it. That's that same mentality. Yes, we were aiding Somalia because that was.
You just said it was a lie. You called me a liar for saying that. You said no.
You see, like what China is doing in Africa.
Oh, all right. That's it. That's all you got. All right, thanks for calling, buddy. That's enough. You got 16 minutes.
See, when you
Bye-bye.
get hit with.
I said 5 minutes. Listen, how are you going to tell me when I tell you USAID was supporting Somalia's economy? He automatically said I lied. I gave him 15 minutes instead of 5. How are we going to have a conversation? I went above so that I can prove it to you, and you can't blame me for that. But they say that I hang up on them when they disagree with me. No, it's not. You said, oh, well, you just find something and you run with it. No, that's what they do. That's what Dennis does, the guy that just called in. He reads a headline and listens to other leftist theories and all these guys that are lying all the time on the left, calling Trump this and that. Have you noticed? Have you noticed that none of these leftist podcasts, listen to me, I want you to pay attention because you need to learn how to discern these liars. Every single one of them will always talk shit about Trump. This is how you know them. Now, listen, if I say something about Newscomb, it's because I know he lies. He lied about Nick Shirley's fraud. Now the AG, the Attorney General, Bob Bunta, says that they found $267 million in fraud. You can't tell me. You can't tell me that I'm lying. There it is. Look it up. Robert Bunta, Attorney General, $267 million in fraud. Thank you to Nick Shirley, by the way. If I tell you that Somalia's economy was being cared for by our tax dollars, Somalia's GDP was like $12 billion. They did over $18 billion in fraud and more, they said. There was people that were caught with millions of dollars, literally millions of dollars in suitcases. The Somali pirates here in the States, in Europe, and every other airport. How does nobody know that there is $1 million in a suitcase? Tell me that. Tell me that. Yeah, like Rock James. Every time Rock James comes in here, he's full of shit. I'm over here saying hello to everybody and how's everybody? Lies, liar. What the hell? I haven't even started talking. We're not even talking about anything. We're just saying hello to people. It's Friday night, it's late night. I want to have fun with my peeps. Whoever is up at this time of night, let's have a conversation, but don't take me for a fool. Don't come asking me, don't come telling me that I'm lying, and then when I point to you, to what I just said, I try to teach this young man how to communicate. Okay, so I'm going to give you 5 minutes, I said. Hey, what's going on, Larson? I'm going to give you 5 minutes. And I try to stop him so that I can help him how to make a claim. I said, okay, I think that us going to fight Iran's regime is a big problem. Okay? But then he keeps going. Because we have nothing to do over there. It's not our war. It's not. No. Go back. Go back. So that we can conversate. I think that being in Iran, fighting with the regime, it's wrong because, and then you tell me. If you tell me, well, it's bad for the economy. Because I think that we need the money here. Okay, make that argument. But you got to make that argument. All right, Jason, what's going on? What's going on, brother? Thanks for calling, man.
What's up, Brandon?
What you got, Jace?
How you doing? What's up, chat?
Man, you know what I'm saying, man? I'm doing good, man. It's Friday night, baby, hanging out with my fams, bro.
You know, I just wanted to say one thing. That
What's up?
I learned on this show.
What's
was
that?
every modern president has said we cannot let Iran go nuclear, and then some.
Right.
Every single one of them. We all heard how tough Hillary. You could play the clips. How tough Hillary talked on Iran.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
So at first, when I woke up and I saw first thing in the morning when Trump was talking Iran and nuclear weapons, I fought in Iraq. I searched for WMD, never found it. At first, I was like, no, not again. But then, when I thought about it, and I calmed down and everything, I realized this is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm behind it 100%.
Yeah, but Jason, I always tell people, right? So I told him from the beginning, right? He called in. I told him about this $600 million for laser hair removal. And it's not something that we're saying. It's that these socialist Democrats is what they're saying. Then I play a clip of the guy, of the lawmaker, saying that it's okay to use the tax money. He says that's a lie. I don't believe. Okay. And I said, USAID. He says it's such a great organization. They did this. Okay. USAID, when it was audited, it came to find out for some reason that the major manager of the banking, that takes care of the economy in Somalia, came out and say that because they shut down the USAID, their economy is shot. And we're not making this up. Like, I don't know if they thought that we were that stupid that we wouldn't realize what they said. But I'm going to play it back again. They said because of the shutdown of the USAID, the economy in Somalia.
The greatest thing we did was shut down USA. That was the greatest thing we did. That had to be done. That's just insane. I don't even want to know too much more about it. It's so insane when you look into USAID. So crazy.
Thank you, Floyd.
Massachusetts here, we do. Everybody knows we pay for inmates to have hormonal treatment when
Bro.
they're transitioning. We pay for it. And our governor here in this blue state also refused a federal audit into EBT card.
Yep. And they refused to here in Washington as well. They kicked those out. They kicked them out.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. We've been talking about voter fraud. They don't want to release the voter rolls.
Oh.
No, and only listen. I know how it sounds, but only blue states do it. They don't want to do it. Only the blue state. Why? It's just a big mystery. I want to find out. I want to know why.
It is un-American. It is so wrong. It is so wrong. The only things that I ask for out of my country, no matter who's president, Democrat or Republican, is secured borders.
Yes.
They obviously deportation, secured borders, and I want fair elections. I want the SAVE Act. I can't have fair elections.
Hey, hold on. Hey, monkey, Somalia is on the northeast part of Africa. This guy say, I bet this guy doesn't even know where Somalia is.
Yeah, right.
Oh, man. Northeast, Lisa. I better be right. Let it be southwest.
I've never been to Somalia, but I have been to the Somali community last May over in Minnesota. And let me tell you something. They keep goats in the city.
Well, listen, look.
Pinned up out behind stores. They have goats pinned up now out behind stores.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Nothing's in English. You can't go in any store and buy any. It's a colony. You can't every single store is so foreign. Nobody's speaking English. Nothing is written in English anywhere. It is a colony, not a community.
Yeah.
Just to get that straight.
Well, you know what? Let's say some positive things about Somalis, okay? Because even though their own statistics, right, or whoever the hell's the statistics they are very low IQ people. Okay, Hondurans, us, we're not much higher, but we're not at retarded level. Okay, and I don't mean that to be offensive to Somalis. That's just a study that they are at what we consider retarded here in the States. That's what the low IQ in Somalia is.
So they had to have had help with the fraud. Somebody had to have.
Well, that's why they were stupid to do it. Well, this is why they're pirates. This is why they steal. They're easy to manipulate. But I will say this, that there is a lot of Somalis, And bro, this is just the way it is, man. This is why I love everybody. There's a lot of Somalis out there that have mixed with other cultures, with other races, other people, and you can see the improvement on their genes. I don't know what the hell it is about this place where they come from. I don't know if it's because they're just so used to living with a shithole country that they don't have anything to look forward to. I don't know how to say it, but I will say this, that I know some Somali people who are very kind. Maybe they're not the genius business CEOs, but they're good people. I have seen them. I've been in the sauna room with them. And of course, they don't speak English. They speak their language, but they're nice people. At least, I don't know if they're talking shit about me, but they're always smiling at me. You know how the enemy is. They always smile at you anyway, but I give them the benefit of the doubt. And I've seen these people, and Ethiopians, are kind of, they're like the distant cousins of these guys, right? And you will notice that a lot of them, they look alike. Like, oh my gosh, you can literally think that they're all twins at different ages. You know what I'm saying?
The video that you showed at the beginning, though, with the people holding up the cards, all I know is I don't even know if I have a problem with it. I just don't want to be that. I don't want that for America, holding up cards. I identify as this. I identify my card was wrong. I just don't want to be that. Do we have to be that?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, no, it's crazy. But here, watch. I'm going to show you, and I'm digging in through my videos, and look, here's a video that I'm not going to show the whole video. I'm going to try to get to the spot because this is a hold on. This is from an influencer, and so I don't want to play the whole clip, right? But let me go ahead and find it here. Now, this first part of it here, I'm going to share this one, okay? Now, I want you to hear. Now, this is a guy that went to Somalia and Somaliland, okay? I want you to look at this terrain, and I don't know if you've been here long enough with me to watch this video, but I want you to watch this part right here and listen to her. Now, she's covering her face. She's uncovering her face. She's not ugly, She's a cute a black woman there, but the culture, right, is what they follow. And look what she says. They will kill me. They will kill me. Listen to this.
Wait, you have to cover your face or they'll kill you?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Just so they see us. The locals will throw stones at you because they don't see you as one of them.
Greetings, friends, and welcome to Somaliland.
They will throw stones at you because they don't see you as one of them. Now, I want to get to a point where, watch this. I want you to watch this interaction right here. Now, this is like an Uber driver, right, or a taxi. Okay, listen to this.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Alhamdulillah.
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 Alhamdulillah. It's just thanks to God.
Yeah. Here you go.
No, thank you.
Oh, okay.
My
all right.
brother, I'm serious.
Okay, thank you so much, man.
And I mean it.
No, thank you.
But
thank
don't
you.
fight with me, please.
Okay.
I'm gonna fight.
Okay, I want you to know, this is a poor country. $10, that would, you know what I'm saying? That would help him.
Oh, definitely.
But he denies it. And he says no, alhamdulillah, right? It's like the guy is a humble, he's a very nice man. There's a lot of nice Somali people that I've seen on this video and that I know personally. But unfortunately, the majority of all these people that we have on here, to hear the amount of people that have been here on TPS for over a decade, since George Bush, 80% plus, brother, on welfare all this time.
That's not a lie, too. The Democrats are trying to say that number's incorrect. That number is not incorrect. That number is very correct.
There you go.
Very correct.
So they think that. Let me find another spot because he goes on. Okay, so here's an interaction on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are cute. Everybody's laughing, telling jokes. It's all good. Watch this.
All right. Thank you. Very friendly. Thanks. I'm very good. How are you? I'm going to Addis Ababa.
I like it.
Oh, you work here? Do you guys all work here?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's your job at the airport? What's your?
I'm a cleaner.
All right, nice.
Can you really leave for me something?
Already begging for money for food. I mean, but I get it. You know, they're poor. I get it, bro. I get it.
What do you want? What do you want?
Anything, my friend.
What do you want? Anything, my friend.
Give me water.
Same thing. It was abused. Money was going everywhere. I'm
Yep.
just not down with that.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay for that.
Yeah. Well,
Especially like the other caller said, we got problems at home. And we got to deal with this Iranian thing. I didn't want to have to deal with this. And I don't believe Trump wanted to do this either. He knows he's making an unpopular decision doing this. You know, he knows this is going to affect him in the whole country in negative ways. He's doing it because he has to.
yeah, he has to. Now check out this other clip.
I believe that.
Check out this other clip because he's going to go into this little museum, right, for the history of the Somali, I think, or something like that. Check this out.
It's just, I just saw that coming from a mile away. Oh, I don't here that I really want to show you guys. They have a stellar collection of ancient human ancestor fossils here. That was surprisingly on display. Guys, it was never just Homo sapiens. This is only a recent phenomenon that we've been the only humans on Earth. There was Homo habilis, Australopithecus, Homo erectus, which was the first human species to leave.
And I grabbed clips of it, right? But you know, he's talking about, like, you know, there's people that have gone throughout the world from there, but then most of the people that stay there, they just stay there and they don't have anything else. But let me get to another moment here where they actually talk a little bit of history from the land in here, and I didn't record the gas station part of it. Let me see. I thought I had the whole clip. Let me see. Let me see if I can find the whole clip, because there is a part that I think is hella funny, dude. Because this guy, the whole time, just so you know, everything is desert. There's nothing. It looks like there's nothing paved. There is paved roads, but it just seems like there's nothing paved, right? But I want to get to one point of the movie.
Everything there.
Say that again?
There's cities and everything there. There's metropolises there. It's they have built up cities just like anywhere else. They're just really banged up from war, from civil unrest.
Well, and it's from themselves. It's from each other.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's from each other, and that's the problem with these countries that are.
Watch the movie Black Hawk Down, and
Oh yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
Crazy.
It is crazy. You know, I think Black Hawk Down is when the soldiers were on the roof, right? And they looked down, and all the women and kids have actual weapons on them. That's the one, I think. And the guy is like, hey, there's a bunch of women and children here, but they're shooting at us. And they're like, what? No way. And they're like, yeah, they're shooting at us. Well, they shot and killed everybody. But when they came to inspect...
The militants with salvia. It's a drug that they chew on. They didn't show that in the movie, but it's a drug that acts like cocaine in the body. It suppresses hunger because there's very little food.
Yeah.
So it keeps you going. And after a few
Yep.
days, they get really wired out on it, and they just walk towards gunfire. So
Yep.
the guys that were actually there at the real Black Hawk Down situation will tell you they were fighting an army of crackheads, completely whacked out, walking towards them, shooting
Yep.
at them.
And that's true, because this is that's why I wanted to watch the whole find the whole video, because there is a part where he goes and hangs out with some of the old folks at the Central Park, and they give him that. They tell him to eat it.
Yeah,
they give him some
chew
the
on it all
weeds.
day.
Yeah.
They chew on it all day long.
Yeah. And the guy, you know, he's there to the experience, but
I would too if I was starving. If I was starving and I had to fight in an army, I would too. What are you gonna do?
and Hamilton says too much water is also bad for you. What's your point?
Come on.
Oh man, you can't, man. You can't with these people, bro. You really can't, bro. You just can't. I play this clip here. Washington Democrats say the state is in a budget crisis and must pass income tax. Yet they have enough money to get laser hair removal and boob jobs for trans imprisoned inmates. State Representative Sean Scott defends it as health care. Bro, They won't even give you a free
Those
circumcision.
ridiculous treatments get signed into laws by crazy Democrats that get busy with the pen.
Absolutely.
So then they have no choice and they have to pay for it. It's nuts.
Yep, absolutely.
That's why they joke around about Joe Biden being busy with the pen, because he used to just sign anything they put in front of him, and then like we would have all these problems because of it. And USAID is one of them.
Yeah.
It's a product of that type of democratic behavior right there. Gross overspending with no oversight is a Democrat feature, not a conservative one. The Blue Dog Democrats are gone. I always hear you talking about them. They're gone.
The who?
Those
Oh,
were
the real
ones,
Democrats?
The Blue Dog Democrats, the
Yeah.
ones that were actually
Yeah.
conservative with spending and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they looked out for unions and shit, American families.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Yeah. It's true. It's
dead.
true. It's true. And you know, what's crazy is that, you know, we play clips, you know, that we have available to ourselves so that we can tell people, you know what I'm saying? So we can show them the truth about it, but they don't want to hear it. They just don't want to hear it. You know, for example, you've seen the clip that I played with Chuck Schumer.
Why are they here? Why are they in the chat? Because they're trying to get us to think their way. And
Yeah.
that is the only reason. They're not trying to like do any type of meet you in the middle, nothing. They just want us to turn on Trump.
Yep.
That is the only
Absolutely.
reason they're in the chat.
And that's not going to
And
happen,
if
bro.
you really want to get him good, all you have to do is say, "Hey, man, I love the guy."
Yeah, well, I love Trump,
Rub
bro.
him the wrong way.
That's why I got, you know what, that's why I put my hats on. That is 100% reason why I put my hats on. Man, this thing is still not being recovered.
You being here legally with a MAGA hat on totally sets them off. Totally.
Yeah, you know, when they have no argument with me, they just say, "What a traitor."
Yes, what a traitor. When they get mad at the rest of us in chat, you know what they say? Epstein. You know,
Yeah.
and they have nothing else to say at all. Like when you were playing those videos of the angel families today, and they didn't have anything other to say than Epstein.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Sad.
Hold on, my camera just
sad.
shut down.
It's very sad. I'm going to let you go, Dennis. I got to get back to the chat and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But, hey, man, I love what you do, brother.
Hold on, my camera shut down here. I gotta do a quick reset.
Hey, tonight was a fire show, man. You were cooking.
You know what I
felt like it was a sermon. I wasn't even paying attention to chat. I just had you on the loudspeaker.
You know what? That's what I did for so long, bro. Like I would just have my earphones on, and I would listen to all the news, and I would listen to podcasters and all this stuff about the information they got, and I listen to news from international news in Spanish, you know, international news in English, and I try to stay very informed with everything on all points of views, you know, and I come to my own conclusions, and this is why I am who I am today. You know, and
Well,
people
when you
don't.
get cooking and you get rolling, sometimes it's like a powerful message.
Oh, bro, oh man, I go off, bro. I go off. Hey, thanks for calling, man. I appreciate it.
All right, brother.
You
All
have
right,
a good
thanks.
night, man. Take it easy.
You too. Good night.
All right. All right, trying to get this camera here activated. I got the activated. Been having this on all day long. Yeah, that was Jason. He's one of the supporters of the channel. He is also a veteran, and his son is also in the military. He couldn't wait to get shipped over there to try to fight and defend our honor, you know, for the United States of America. So I appreciate all the support from everybody, guys. I try to give you guys both looks on the streaming because I want you to have the full experience of an actual, you know, whole video, If you're on a computer or on a tablet, you can get the bigger picture of what we're doing. And sometimes, when you do the vertical, I'm always feeling like I'm missing out something, so from the videos, and I don't like that. But all right, you know what? We only have one guy calling in opposition, and I am not trying to, intimidate anybody. I just, I'm kind of picky, with the way that I say things. If I tell you something that I'm disagreeing with, I tell you why I'm disagreeing with it, and you can always ask me why something else, and then we can talk about it. But I do what I can, and I'm gonna tell you, the only reason why I pause is because, I can go off for hours, and I can tell you when Jason, I appreciate the compliment. When I do get on fire, I do get hot on fire, but it's not something that you can do all the time because, the issues are different. They vary, and it's just like with Dennis, right? The kid. Well, he's not a kid, but the young man that called in, Dennis. I try to explain to him. Okay, listen, I'm giving you 5 minutes, and I give him 15, but I said I'm giving you 5 minutes so that you can make your point. The way that you're going to make your point is this. You're going to go ahead and make a statement, right? And then now you were in English class and, that you were debating and all this stuff. They tell you, okay, make a statement. Make your opening statement or make your conclusion statement. And the way that I look at things is if I start saying something that will create a question in my statement, now I have to explain why that question exists in my statement. So when he said right away, we shouldn't be in Iran, well, why? We shouldn't be there because it's none of our business. Okay, but why is it none of our business? You got to get to the root of it. And what I want is for people to critically think and say, okay, before I open my mouth, now I know I have ADHD and all that BS and blah, blah, blah. Believe me, I can control it very well most of the time. But I'm going to tell you this. You have to be able to question yourself. You got to be able to say, okay, I don't like Trump. Okay, why? Is he ruining the country? Yes. Okay, why? No? Okay, why? You got to answer all those questions before you actually make your statement. For example, this Democrat politicians, they're all corrupted. Whenever they go and they start trashing people, okay, what they do is they make their statement with a bunch of questions inside those statements, and then they tell the witness to shut up. Sit there. I got 5 minutes to grill you on this. But they're not making a statement with an answer to say why this is going this way. They make a statement with several questions and accusations to the witness without letting them respond. By the time they get the chance to respond, the people, the audience that is watching, they already lost track of what the hell they're being accused of. All they know is the feeling of that accusation. How many times have you been fighting with somebody and you don't even know why the hell you're fighting? I'll tell you this. I had a friend. We had a discussion. He disagreed with me because of subject A. And he says, I'm never going to talk to you again. And I said, okay, fine. I'll never talk to you again either. Until you talk to me again. Years go by. And then that person comes and, bro, why have we been fighting all this time? You want to know? Because I didn't forget. They don't even remember why they've been fighting. They don't know why there was a disagreement. And I have to say, well, that's because, never mind, forget about it. You know why? Because after all those years, maybe it's just not worth it anymore. But I do remember why we were fighting. I do remember why I don't want to get along with you. I do remember why we are not friends. I do remember why. I already forgave you But I can't just have you come in and try to destroy me over and over. That just doesn't happen. Big Floyd, thanks for your support, bro. Yeah, I know you might not agree with me on probably most of the things that I say, but I appreciate you being a member, big dog. Appreciate you. You know, I've gone to podcasts, right, where supposedly people think like me, right? They call themselves Christians, and and then they're black, and so they believe, even conservatives, they believe, and this is all according to the individual. It has nothing to do with you're liberal or Democrat or Republican, nothing to do with that. It has to do with the individual. They were calling in there, and they think that because somebody is not black, they have no opinion on any matter that has to do with black people. Now, in where I was raised, there was no such thing as that. I can speak about the black people, they can speak about the Asians, and the Asians can speak about me. We are all just one people. And so I take that approach here in the United States of America. We're all the same. Nobody's going to play the victim card with me because I am everything that they're playing a victim with. But I don't play the victim. I want to be a victor. I want to be able to conquer my problems. I want to be able to say I can fight this and I can do this and I can do that. I don't understand why people just don't take that. I have Native Americans that come and challenge me in here. I have a lot of Navajo, Cherokee, and all these people that support me. But I have a lot of natives that come in here entitled and be like, oh, we're the real Americans. Shut the hell up. So am I. What does that mean? What does that mean? You got to be able to accept that things change. We have horrible histories in our lives. But that doesn't mean that we're going to be resentful and hate everybody for it. I think it's amazing when we can come together and we can say, you know what? Why are we fighting? Why can't we just, like Rodney King says, can't we all just get along? After you got a beating, now you make sense. Like, for example, Lamilton. Here's a clear example. He says, you are not a real American. Like, this guy knows me. I said, my father has been a native in the Americas for as long as he remembers, and his father before him, and his father before him, and his father before him. I like how these morons come in here and tell me that I'm not a real American. Well, you know what? Times have changed. We have borders. Borders makes countries. And this country accepted me to become an American citizen, and I love it. It is a great, great, great privilege, as I call it, my white privilege card. Man, you know what? Zigzag is all good. Don't worry about Lamilton. L.A. Milton. I don't know this guy. Let's see. Yeah, it's too much for him, I guess. Gary Woodard says, are you MWA? No, don't understand, no. Hey, Brenda, there's cousin. Now, we're not related, no, but she has the same last name as I do. Like it says, united we stand, divided we fall. Absolutely, 100%. Now, the problem is that a lot of people can take exhortations and rebuking and disciplinary action. Well, you're going to get all that shit from me. And if you don't like it, I know why you don't want to be on my channel. But I'm going to tell you something. We have 18,600 something subscribers. I don't see them on my chat all the time. Now, I will tell you that the chat that we had earlier today, we had about 85,000 people come through the channel. Not everybody can stay, of course. I understand that. But, I do that so that people can come in and get a chance to be able to get some news and get some different opinions on things. Because, listen, if I shut up about it, there is a lot more people out there lying to you. There's a lot of people lying to you. They don't want this country to succeed. A lot of them are just naive. When I read our history books, I feel the pain of the previous generations. a lot of the youngsters, it's really hard to find new youngsters that actually are pretty smart and that want to fight for the country. Like, you know, like Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley and his friend, they're in their early 20s. And they're out there fighting fraud, trying to find out who's scamming, who's not. And the government, you know, they're older. You would think they know how this works. Let me see if I can change something here. I don't like this. 9/11. There we go. It's too bright. I don't know. That's probably too dark already, but I don't like it when the light is too bright. But anyways, we've been watching some clips here from the NASA people being picked up. Here they are on the helicopter. You guys may have seen this already. Hey, guys, thank you so much for hitting that like button. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for becoming members for a lot of you. I appreciate it. Tonight, the viewers, we only got about maybe close to 11,000 views today. Maybe a couple, maybe 100 or so on the landscape mode. But I appreciate you guys for being here. And I want to say thank you to all my members. And let me see. Let me go ahead and play some music here. I want to say thank you to my members for being here. I appreciate you. And I want to give you a little things of my own. Here is President Trump doing his silly dance, and here's my AI silly dance with him. Ready? Here we go. Hey, DJ, give me that song. Give me that beat. Play it. And with that, my friends, thank you so much for being here with me tonight. Have a good night. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless the USA. We'll see you on the next one. You are all amazing. Peace.